So, today we're going to talk about a tool that can be the real difference maker between just kind of drifting through life and actually designing it. It's called the Personal Development Plan, or PDP for short. This quote from Larry Winget just cuts right to the chase, doesn't it? Not having a plan isn't some neutral thing. It's a choice. It's a path. It's just probably not the one you'd pick on purpose. So, the real question is, how do we start choosing our path with intention? I mean, think about it for a second. In your head, it sounds like this amazing, spontaneous adventure, right? But what's the reality? Usually, it's just stressful. You're constantly scrambling, trying to figure out where you're going to sleep, what you're going to eat, or what to do next. It's really hard to enjoy the ride when you're always stuck in the weeds. And honestly, that's pretty much what our lives can feel like when we don't have a plan. And that leads us perfectly into our first section here, what it's really like trying to navigate life without any kind of map. See, without a plan, we just drift. We're like a boat without a rudder, just reacting to the winds and the currents instead of steering towards a destination. So it's no wonder that this often leads to this deep feeling of dissatisfaction, where you look around one day and just don't even recognize how you got to where you are. Jim Ron just hits the nail on the head here. It's kind of wild, right? We'll spend hours, days, even weeks planning the perfect 2-week vacation, the perfect escape, but we totally forget to design the other 50 weeks of the year that we're actually living. It just goes to show you how much easier it is to go for the short-term fix instead of putting in the work for real long-term change. But you know what? It doesn't have to be that way. Which brings us to the solution, the antidote to all this drifting. It's time to create your own personal roadmap. So, what even is a personal development plan? Well, think of it like a structured conversation you have with yourself. It's a way to get all those thoughts swirling around in your head out and onto paper. It's where you define what you truly care about, set crystal clear goals, take stock of what you're already awesome at, and then figure out what you need to learn to get to where you want to go. And the payoff here is huge and super practical. This is not some fluffy, feel good exercise. A PDP is like your personal compass for life. It gives you this incredible sense of control because you're finally in the driver's seat, not just reacting to stuff. And when you know where you're headed, making all those little day-to-day decisions, it becomes so much easier to stay on the right track. Okay, so you're on board, you're ready to start. But what does this actually look like? Let's get into the nitty-gritty, the practical steps of drafting your own blueprint. First up, just do a brain dump. Get it all out. Write down 5 to 10 goals that genuinely get you excited. Then comes the really hard part, but honestly, it's the most important. You have to prioritize. You have to pick that one goal, the one that if you nailed it would make the biggest positive difference in your life. That focus, that's your superpower. And finally, give that goal a deadline. Because let's be real, a goal without a deadline is just a wish. Make it realistic, but make it a real, solid commitment. All right, the next step is all about getting to know yourself a little better. It's time to take an inventory of your personal assets. What are you just naturally good at? What skills are already in your toolkit? And hey, if you're not sure, don't be afraid to ask people who know you well. You might be really surprised at what they see in you. Your strengths could be anything. Maybe you're super organized, or maybe you're an incredibly patient teacher, or you pick up new things in a flash. And pointing these out isn't about having a big ego. It's about building real confidence. Knowing what you bring to the table is the foundation for believing that you can actually hit those big goals you just set for yourself. Okay, we've got our foundation laid, we have our main goal, and we know our strengths. Now it's time to build on it with the action plan. This is where we get into the nuts and bolts of making your goal a reality. A really powerful exercise here is to make 2 lists, a start doing list and a stop doing list. And you've got to be brutally honest with yourself. What habits are holding you back? That's your stop doing list. And on the flip side, what new actions could build some momentum? Maybe it's start waking up 30 minutes earlier, or stop mindlessly scrolling social media at night. This is where you find the small changes that make a huge difference. Oh man, this quote from Brian Tracy is the perfect mindset for what comes next. Because big goals often demand a new version of ourselves, and that means we've got to build some new skills. And that brings us to the final, absolutely crucial steps of your action plan. First, figure out the specific skills you need and then make a plan to go learn them. Next, break your big goal down into just 3 to 5 key actions to focus on right now. And remember, you don't have to do this alone. Who can you get on your team? A mentor, a coach, a friend to keep you accountable? And finally, you have to track how you're doing. See what's working, see what's not, and be ready to switch things up as you go.
So you've done it. You've created the plan. But this isn't some document you write once, file away, and forget about. No, think of it as a living, breathing guide for your journey.
And really, that's what this is all about. A personal development plan helps you cut through all the noise of daily life. It forces you to focus on what actually matters to you and turns those fuzzy daydreams into a concrete project. This is a tool you should come back to all the time, maybe every month or every quarter, to update it, fine-tune it, and celebrate how far you've come. Never, ever forget this. Having a plan is the difference between being a passenger in your own life and being firmly in the driver's seat. It gives you power, it gives you focus, and it gives you a deep sense of purpose. So, with all of that said, the only question left is the one right here. Your journey starts right now. The process can begin the second this is over, so take a minute. Think about it. What are you going to plan for first?